this.
Oh, I thought we were going to keep going. I was ready to come back for my supportive backing vocals.
I feel like we were in a basketball court.
No, I loved it. I truly loved it.
All right, so we're back.
Oh, yeah, we're back. Pod Dungeon.
We have a nice little setup. Got a new little live sign.
It's cute.
I'm still sick.
She is still sick. It is the illness that never ends.
Yeah, I've been sick since last Friday.
Yeah, and it's Sunday, so that's 9 days.
Yeah.
And
because when I get sick, I don't go halfsies. No. I go all out.
No, you do not. And I somehow am still fine.
You better knock on wood. You should leave that in there because that sounded pretty fucking awesome. Okay, so I'm Meara.
I'm Morgan.
And we are
Mysteriosities. I didn't even look at you that time. I'll be super quiet like I was last episode. And this exact position, I feel like I'm at a good volume. So
yeah,
I can't
you
move.
Sound good.
So I'm just going to stay right here in this exact spot.
You're like not even moving your face.
No, I'm not moving. But I am very comfortable, so it's okay.
Okay, so this is my episode. So this has been in my pocket for a while.
It has, but it stayed in her pocket because we weren't really sure how to lay it out because she's got hella notes.
Yeah, and also because I didn't know if we were ready for a more than one-parter. Yes. But then Morgan did a 2-parter, and I was like, let's do it. This is probably going to be a 3-parter.
Yeah, we decided to do 3, so they're going to be a little bit shorter than our usual episode, but it's that or have super long ones that would probably be like hour 20
right
each, if not more than that. So let us know if y'all like that length, or if you're like, no, you should have done 2 long ones, because I mean we care about like what y'all prefer, because sometimes people like long ass episodes, and sometimes people are like, oh, that was really short and snappy. So.
Yeah. But also, because they're shorter, you'll have the content sooner.
That is true, too. We're recording part 1 and part 2 today.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the Florida School for Boys.
Oh.
Okay, so the first part is just going to be some history, some background, kind of what the day-to-day was like at the school, and then we'll get in the nitty-gritty in the next episode.
Okay, so what's the school called?
It's called the Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys.
Okay.
But people also will shorten it to Florida School for Boys because it's in Florida.
Thank you. I'm glad you told me that.
Okay, so the Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys was first organized under an 1897 act of legislature and began operations on the Mariana campus on January 1st, 1900.
Okay, so
there I did it again.
So we're in the 1900s. We're way back. We're way back when.
But at that time, it was called the Florida State Reform School. And this was done under the control of 5 commissioners appointed by the governor who were to operate the school and make biennial reports to the legislature. So the school was opened in 1900 as the Florida State Reform School. It was on 1,400 acres of land west of Tallahassee in Mariana in Florida.
Is that the Panhandle?
Uh-huh.
Haha, Florida geography.
I'm pretty sure.
Popping up
but you're asking somebody who's not good at geography, too.
I thought Tallahassee
I'm pretty
was
sure.
in the Panhandle, but I'm just going to check. Please hold. It's in the Panhandle. It's exactly where I thought it was.
So when it opened in 1900, the whole point of the school was to reform the young boys that were sent here. So it said that it's to change them from misguided youth to developing an honorable and honest character so they could be successful out in the real world. So not only was it to like reform them, but also educate them enough to be able to become something other than convicts. The state law actually stated that the children would be educated in, and this is in quotes, branches of useful knowledge adapted to their age and capacity, and otherwise as will best secure their reformation, amendment, and future benefit. So that was in, like, I don't know, it was their creed of the school.
So, did you get sent there if you were low-key, like breaking laws and shit? Or did people send them there if they were just like, oh, I'll
get into that.
A little crazy, so I'm gonna just, like, you know, like
Not necessarily.
Allegheny lunatic asylum, and like how you could just send people there, you know what I mean? Is it like that?
Kind of, but not like in the terms of like crazy.
I mean, I know.
The sentences to the reformatory school were supposed to be no less than 6 months, but no more than 4 years.
Okay.
If they
4 years seems like a long ass time.
Yeah.
But I guess it is like a school.
But some people ended up being in there a lot longer than 4 years. If they got thrown out of the school, they would have to serve their initial sentence, meaning any time spent at the school would not count toward their jail time.
Okay.
So, through the years, the school name changed several times. So, in 1914, it changed to Florida Industrial School for Boys. And then in 1957, it changed to just the Florida School for Boys.
They're very creative with their titles. Very creative.
And then in 1967, it changed to what we know it as now, Arthur G. Dozier School for Boys. He used to be a former superintendent for the school, so they named the school after him. So for around 109 years, this is where the state of Florida sent what they call their bad boys.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
When they come for you.
Yes.
Yeah. So some boys were sent there for serious crimes like rape or assault, but a lot
I just
of them
feel like they could have just gone to jail. Go straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Yeah, but if they were younger, I mean...
No,
yeah.
Straight to jail.
Well, yeah.
Not to the reform school. Nay. Prison for you. Thank you.
But a lot of them were sent there for skipping school, running away from abusive homes, or just smoking cigarettes.
Cigarettes are bad for you, that's true, but like I don't think it's like reform school
right
behavior. It's just my opinion. No.
Anyone in the state of Florida could send boys to the school if they were demonstrating incorrigible behavior.
Incorrigible.
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
I don't know.
Incorrigible.
It almost sounded like you said incorrigible, like you're encouraging them.
No, incorrigible.
Incorrigible.
Sorry.
I feel like you have to throw an emphasis because they're kind of similar.
Incorrigible.
They kind of sound similar, and they're spelled super different, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Incorrigible behavior. That better?
Yes, that's great.
Okay. Their ages were anywhere from 10 to 20 years old, and the school was segregated by race. Yeah. And it kind of went on even after the whole segregation thing ended. They still kind of did it.
People keep with their old ways.
The southern portion of the campus housed the white boys, and the northern portion housed the black boys. The majority of the students throughout the school's history were black, though.
Yeah, of course. That's just racist. That's okay. It's 2022 and shit like that still happens. I'm not even gonna start ranting about it.
It remained segregated until 1968, but obviously the prejudices were still there. So, the school was made to be self-sufficient, kind of similar to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, like we talked about last week.
I think that's good because, you know, it gives people something to
skills.
Do. Yeah. I wish I knew how to garden. I wish I knew how to grow my own food.
The residents and employees had to grow their own food, cook their own meals, do their laundry, make the furniture, and do any repairs.
See, that's a lot of stuff that I don't know how to do.
Because they didn't have enough inmates and residents at the time, they needed to find a way to increase their numbers. So then things started getting sketchy.
Speaking of that sketchy, you know how you were talking about our podcat, who, by the way, is not down here, which
she'll come down.
Pretty offensive to me. But, like, if we ever make merch, I think we need to make merch of all of our cats.
Oh, my God.
As stickers.
Yeah.
Like a sticker collection of all of our cats.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cute?
We could do, like, those, like, secret ones. So you're like, oh, I hope I get this one.
What, like just
Like
a random
kind of
one?
like Pokemon cards, you know?
Right.
How you like open them up.
Maybe you can't even buy them, and everyone who buys merch just gets one sticker and like what sticker sailor suit.
Yeah.
I gotta poop.
Oh, okay.
I gotta go.
Hello, everybody.
This can be bonus content that we can give to our Patreon donors
That's
if we ever
true.
get any Patreon
Yeah,
donors.
it's like $35 to listen to the producer. He better be fucking good. Oh my god! No, I'm just kidding. Hold on. This is your conscience speaking to you. Make sure you wash your hands.
It worked. Hello. I've just been staring at the dead air this whole time.
Oh,
All right, so you ready?
my headphones aren't even on yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Sorry, everybody. Wendy's, you know what I mean? Okay, continue. I literally don't remember where we left off.
So recap. The school was made to be self-sufficient.
Yes, okay.
So they made their own food, they grew it, they did their own laundry, they made the furniture, and they did any repairs that the school would need.
Basically learning all of the things.
Sorry, felt like I had a glob of shit in my throat.
Oh, okay. Gross. What is this, human centipede?
What I was saying is they didn't have enough inmates or residents at the time, so they needed to find a way to like bring more people in so that it could be more self-sufficient.
That's pretty sketchy.
Yeah, very sketchy.
Like,
So-
I get you like using that stuff to like make the people who are there like, you know, give them something to do and like they're learning, but like not to the point that you would like be like, oh, we got to get more people in here, got to
Right.
make some more furniture. Like, what?
Florida's governor at the time then allowed any misbehaving child, even without a court conviction, to come to the school. So, like, if the parent was like, you're misbehaving, they could just be like, okay, I'm going to send you to the school. They wouldn't even have to go to court.
Oh, so at first you had to literally...
Yeah, you had to have
you
a
had
court
to
conviction
go
to begin with. They also made it possible where the school and its leaders decided on the child's sentence and not the courts, allowing for residents to be kept past 18 if they deemed it necessary.
Yeah, but like, couldn't you just dip at that point?
Not if you were in the school.
I'm outie and then sneak out the window.
Yeah, and then you get caught and then sent to jail.
Only if you're bad at sneaking.
Yeah, that's true. So over the 111-year history, it gained a reputation. My voice cracked
I
in
know,
the middle of that.
it sounded really fun to say, so
I'm
I
just
wanted
gonna
to do
keep
it too.
that. I kind of like it.
I'm editing this episode,
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
So you can't keep shit.
I'm telling you to keep it.
Okay, I'll keep it.
Okay, so it gained a reputation for abuse, beatings, rapes, torture, and murders of students by staff, even though the outside was kept like immaculate. So there was this like
Wait,
so
staff was
basically-
doing that
yeah,
to students?
yeah,
You're saying staff was murdering students
yeah,
and raping them
yeah,
and attacking them?
yeah.
What the fuck? Somebody burned this building to the ground.
I am telling you,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
crazy that it went on as long as it did.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Is this school still standing?
yeah.
Let's burn it down. Burn it to the ground, everybody. Meet you there.
The whole thing about it is they said that like inside there were so many secrets and traumas and violence, but on the outside it looked like a dream. I'll get into it later in more detail, but some of the boys were like excited to go there because they're like, I get a hot meal,
Aw.
I get,
Bed.
I get a place to sleep.
I get to learn how to do things.
Right,
And,
and,
be
like,
self-sufficient.
I might have people who care about me.
It makes me sad.
Yes,
That feels
because
good.
it looked so nice, and they almost looked at it as like almost like a summer camp. They're like, I'm gonna make friends, and people are actually gonna care about me. Because some of these kids were like orphans, or they were being abused in their foster homes, or whatever.
Is this place haunted?
That I'm not sure about. There wasn't a lot of like spooky talk in this. You would think
There's a
that
lot
there
of, like,
probably is
death
some
and,
weird
like,
shit.
anger that you would think,
Especially
would be pretty
in what they
haunted.
call the White House. It was a white building where they did the torture.
What?
Yeah. One of the articles that I read from Tampa Bay described the school as the boys went in damaged and came out destroyed. This is really sad.
Fuck
So,
this school.
and this case also is going to have a lot of triggers. So, about children and violence and rape. So, just FYI. So, a little about the arrival process at the school. The boys sent to Dozier would usually arrive by bus or police car. And then when they got there, they would give the boys booklets on the rules and regulations at the school, what they were expected to do, basically just setting the expectations. Each boy, when they got there, they were given an identity number, a haircut, a medical exam, and vaccinations. Seems very militaristic.
Yeah, it does.
And then boys were usually assigned to dorms based on, first and foremost, their race.
Of fucking course.
And then either a temporary dorm for new students or to a dorm of boys around their age. So depending on what the space was like.
Right.
All boys, when they got there, were given a job assignment and the work clothes necessary for that particular job. And then they would undergo a psych evaluation and academic testing before receiving their uniform to see kind of where they were at for class reasons. Because it was also, they educated them there too. And I put educated in air quotes.
I was going to say, I feel like it deserves air quotes.
Yeah.
And I don't even know yet.
Yeah. So, some of the workings of the school, since the housing was separated by race, the white side was named after presidents, and the black side was named after,
Don't you dare say some racist ass shit.
I'm not. It's not bad, like you
Okay,
would think.
good. I was ready, like, oh, they're named after presidents, and then they're named after, I don't even know. I don't even have an answer. But I was really prepared
So
for it.
the black side was named after, and in quotes, outstanding Negro leaders, like Jackie Robinson.
Okay, fine.
There were 19 two-story buildings that housed around 40 boys, and the boys slept in a large open room on the first floor in bunk beds or army-style cots. Usually the adults that lived with the boys were called cottage fathers, who had private quarters upstairs.
Now that's sketchy.
That's kind of creepy.
Cottage fathers.
Yeah.
That's, if I ever met someone and I said, hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? What do you do for a living? And he said, oh, my name's Steve. I'm a cottage father.
My name's
like, what the fuck, Steve? Like, I wouldn't even ask for clarification. I don't want to know what that means. Like, excuse me, my phone's ringing. I gotta go.
I
gotta leave here.
See you, Steve.
See you, Steve. See you never, Steve. That's what I would say in that conversation.
So they had watchmen at night to make sure all the boys were in bed and everything was okay on the grounds. And the Dozier school, kind of similar to like the military, what I was saying earlier, they had 6 ranks of achievement for the boys based on their behavior.
Okay.
So the different rankings was Grub, Rookie, Explorer, Pioneer, Pilot, and Ace.
Not grub.
Yeah, so when
you can't think of anything better than naming people after bugs.
So
somebody called me a grub, I'd punch you in the face.
Yeah, and
then I'd be
really screwed.
Fucked, I guess.
So when the boys first came to the school, they started as a rookie.
I thought they started as a grub.
No.
You're telling me rookie is below grub?
No.
Oh, okay.
So they gave them the benefit of the doubt, started them as rookies. That way, if they showed signs of, malbehavior.
Oh, so you could go down to grub. So
yeah, so they could
I already
be demoted.
forgot the orders that you said, so it was rookie after grub.
Yeah, so it's grub, rookie, explorer, pioneer, pilot, and ace.
So you started
at
start
number 2.
As
rookie.
Okay.
So that if you misbehave,
then you're a bug.
Then they can demote you to grub.
And be like, you're a bug.
Right. So, and that's what it is. Grub was a demotion from any rank. Whatever rank you were determined the privileges that you got. Pioneers were allowed to go to the nearby town of Mariana on alternate weeks for a movie or the skate rink. Pilots had all the privileges of the pioneers, plus they could go to home games of high school teams and write an extra letter home every week.
And they could fly airplanes.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, don't call somebody a pilot if they can't fly an airplane. That's just a stupid name.
And then aces could go to Mariana for a half day each week without an escort and write letters home whenever they wanted. But no more than 5 boys held the ace rank at Dozier at the same time.
Like they weren't allowed to be more than 5? Okay.
Right.
So could they demote somebody to promote somebody else too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that meant it was like really competitive.
And I guarantee you the black boys probably didn't get promoted.
Because Racism.
Yep. You moved up the ranks if you could keep peace in your cottage. So basically they were using the students kind of as way, like, so they didn't have to do as much work. You know?
Policing themselves.
Yeah, policing themselves. And you got demoted when you caused trouble or got in a fight. So the boys' typical day would start around 6 a.m. with a bugle and a flag ceremony.
Oh my God.
Yep. And the boys who were in charge of milking the cows or preparing the breakfast had to be up earlier. They usually had to get up at like 4:30.
Ugh.
Yeah. And they only had about 10 minutes to shower, make their bed, and get dressed for the day. The boys would then form a line and march about a quarter mile to the dining hall. And then work and school began at 7:45. At the end of their day, they all marched to dinner together.
Doing a lot of marching.
Yeah, it's very militaristic.
Could just walk. It's the same thing, you know. All get you to the same place.
After dinner, they would clean or do yard work at their dorm and then shine their boots every night.
Boots don't need to be shined every night. Fun fact.
That's true.
We could skip that part
It's
of
such
the
a
agenda.
messy thing, too, like shining boots. And then any issues with their clothing, they were expected to fix. And if there was any extra time at the end of the day, the boys that were of higher rank and earned privileges were allowed to watch TV. But usually there wasn't a lot of extra time.
I mean, I would just be like, good night.
Right, they probably wanted to go to bed. That would be me. I'd be like, I'm just going to go to bed.
I'm going to go to sleep. I don't want to watch I Love Lucy. Bye.
So lights out was around 10 p.m. and earlier for the boys with early morning chores. Which I'd be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to bed at 8. See ya.
I'm going to skip the shoe shining and go to bed at 6 o'clock. Bye.
The boys had work and classes 5.5 days a week, half days on Saturdays.
Ew.
And then during the rest of the week, they could watch TV, play games, or participate in sports. Each dorm had their own basketball hoop and sports teams. And they had intramural teams where they would play, like, the other dorms. I don't know if they, like, named themselves or what.
I'm sure they had some silly-ass names.
Probably.
Like the fruit flies. Well, they seem to like bugs there, so.
Oh, Lord.
Fruit flies versus the fire ants.
Fire.
What? They're calling people grubs. They probably are like, name your sports team after your favorite bug, because you're insects.
The
That seems like something they would say.
The butterflies.
The moths. Just kidding, I hate moths. Look, fuck
Ooh,
a
they're
moth.
freaky.
Fuck a moth. They just are
Erratic.
so spastic.
Yeah, they're...
That they just feel like they could fly into your eye on accident. Like, they're not doing it to be malicious. They just don't know how to fly very well.
Yeah.
But, like, that kind of spastic activity freaks me out. I'm like, you don't get away from me. You don't even know where you're going. How am I supposed to figure it out?
So, they also had pits for playing horseshoes. And then the varsity teams were segregated and would play against other schools nearby. They also had talent shows, pageants, and bands.
What about a choir?
I don't know. Doesn't say anything about choir. Which, boys' choirs, I mean, usually pretty good. And then Dozier had an even and odd day system where they would work one day and then go to school the next. So usually the white boys at Dozier learned trades like printing, auto mechanics, woodworking, electronics. But then the black students were given like general construction for the school, agriculture, meat production, dairy, and they would tend the animals.
I don't know if you could see how aggressively I was just rolling my eyeballs.
Yeah, I know.
It almost gave me a headache. I rolled them so up into my skull.
It's crazy. And then we'll get into the education for the boys. Each boy's education was based on the initial testing when they arrived. If a boy seemed to be doing really well, a teacher could request a grade change or request the boy to be retested. So 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders were all in one class together. And then 4th through 8th graders were in their own classroom. And then the 9th and 10th graders were usually in their own, and then the 11th and 12th graders were together. Teachers were the ones that decided when the boys were ready to move on to the next grade. Some students would take the GED test to earn their high school diploma.
Imagine if like a teacher like didn't like you.
Right.
And they were just like, you're going to be in 8th grade forever.
Right. Seriously. So, and then in 1903, inspection reported students at the school were kept in leg irons.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Like in school.
Repertoire?
Yeah. 1903. Some as young as 6 years old.
Excuse me? Leg irons?
Leg irons.
I'm going to put them in leg irons and drop them in the ocean.
So this is kind of like the background stuff. And then in 1911, a report showed there was sickness, overcrowding, and hunger at the school. 1914, there was a fire in one of the dorms that killed 6 of the boys and 2 employees.
Oh my god, another fire.
Yep, where they were then buried behind the campus.
Oh.
One boy...
Nobody picked them up? Nobody picked up their sons' bodies?
Because a lot of these boys were orphans, or they were in the system, and so they would run away and then get sent to the boys' school because nobody wanted them. One boy and 2 employees fell to their deaths through a collapsing floor.
Excuse me?
And the others died from smoke inhalation.
For a second, I thought we were done with the fire, and I was like, why are floors just collapsing? And then I realized that we were not, in fact, done with the fire, and that the fire was probably, burning the floors. And
Meanwhile,
then they collapsed.
In the fire, all of the school's records up to that point were destroyed.
That's sketchy.
Yeah.
That's super sus.
So, yeah.
That's sus.
Decide what you will with
That's
that.
sus is what I've decided.
The Florida School for Boys then rebuilt its dorms for white students, making them smaller for fewer boys so that escape from a fire would be easier, and then the black students remained in a large building without fire escapes.
Cool.
Isn't that terrible?
Because we don't want them to escape fire.
So terrible. So, in 1918, 99% of the school's students contracted the Spanish influenza.
Oh my god, 99%?
Yeah, it says 200...
I like that you said contracted.
Contracted, sorry. I was emphasizing the wrong.
It's okay. I was just like, contractors?
It's then. It says 264 of 267 were infected.
Could you imagine being one of the 3 people
Right.
that didn't get it?
I would be fucking paranoid.
I'd be like, where do I go?
Any little tickle in my throat or anything, I'd be like, I'm gonna die.
Like, I'm going to sit in this closet until y'all are not sick anymore.
Kind of like COVID, though.
Yeah. Get away from me. We will not be infected on this day.
So the conditions deteriorate. Oh my god.
Derriere.
And I hit my head. I'm a hot mess.
Sorry, y'all. We're still getting used to not having to hold our microphones and like these little I forget what they're called.
Pop filters.
No, not that.
Arms.
Arm thingies are like cool, but like at the same time,
They're not as good as my arm.
no, they're better. But like,
I'm kidding.
well, yeah, they can't bend like an arm. You know what I mean?
The conditions deteriorated because the students and staff were too ill to get out of bed. So they couldn't, grow food. They couldn't milk the cows because they were so
Oh
sick.
my god, the cows are probably like, please fucking milk me, bro.
Yeah. They lost their lighting. They lost the power to run the water pumps. This gave them limited water, and they couldn't remove the sewage.
Ew.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
So then 11 of the boys died from the flu.
Oh.
By 1919, the public demanded the school shut down until they could make it safer.
Did it?
No.
Not.
Of course not.
No.
In 1926, an inspection showed more mistreatment and abuse of students. Children again were being shackled. In 1941, one of the boys'
Damn,
mother...
that's a gap of
Yeah.
time that happened. Just
Yeah,
then.
these are just some tellings.
Okay, I was just like, damn, what happened in the lost years?
So, in 1941, one of the boys' mothers publicly accused the school of abuse, stating that staff had beaten her son bloody with a 3-inch thick wooden board. The school said he earned the beating, but they described it as a spanking. Then the superintendent asked the governor at the time, who was a former school teacher, to provide his endorsement of paddling in schools as an acceptable form of punishment.
Or not. Thank you.
So then by 1956, the school housed 698 students and 128 staffers.
Damn.
It became the largest boys' school in the country. So then just some things about escapees.
Oh, yeah.
If
Get the
a
fuck outta there,
particular dorm had no runaways in a certain amount of time, then
then they got a pizza party.
then all of the boys of that dorm would earn a reward.
I was kidding.
But, I mean, you're right. Usually something like a trip to a nearby beach or something like that. To get
Good
them
job.
out of...
Y'all didn't try to escape our paddle beating, malnutrition ass, not milking the cow ass, influenza ass place.
Yep.
And that catches on fire that doesn't always have fire escapes because we're racist. You didn't try to escape, so you get to go to the fucking beach.
Yep. And then if a boy tried to escape, then the whole dorm had to wait a year for any privileges.
Well, that's some self-police. That's some policing yourself shit right there.
Like,
because you're turning people against each
And
other.
a year?
That's a fucking long-ass time.
That is a long time.
No pizza parties for you for 365 days.
If a boy escaped and was caught, oftentimes they would simply take them back to the dorm and let the other boys take revenge on them.
Are you kidding me?
Getting lashed by their belts or hit in the head.
No.
By the other boys, yeah. Because the boys were pissed, because they're like...
365 days
Yeah.
at a pizza party.
Yeah. And then they would be taken to the White House.
Oh, not the White House.
lot
Not to be
of-
confused with the one
Yeah, not...
housing presidents.
They ain't going to see presidents, for sure.
They're not going to see Joe Biden.
No.
They're not going to see Barack Obama. They're not going to see Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, or Al Gore. Was he a president?
No.
Fuck. I was doing so
he,
well.
he ran. But...
I know. I couldn't remember. Wait, I knew he wasn't president, everybody. I'm kidding. I think I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm blacking out. It's fine.
So a lot of times those boys were sent there and they were never seen again.
Oh my god, I hate this place so fucking much.
Yeah. So the victims of the White House were known as the White House Boys. They were the ones later on, which I'll talk about, who came forward kind of in the 1950s and 60s and told their stories. But violence was administered in a small white house on school grounds. 300 men claim to have been sent here for punishment. So if you think about it, 300 men...
I like that you're just like
throwing my notes.
throwing your notes on the ground.
It's fine. It's more organized for me that way. 300 men claim to have been sent there. So that's the men who came forward about it.
Right.
Or who didn't die.
Right.
So the number was probably much higher than that.
You gotta think
but
a fair amount probably died.
the men who remembered being sent there remembered the White House to smell of old saliva, sweat, vomit, and urine. The pillows and mattress in there was said to have bits of tissue from where boys bit their lips and tongues so they wouldn't scream. If they screamed, then their punishment would be worse. So that's why there was a lot of like lip tissue and stuff from them biting their lips so they wouldn't scream. Usually the boys would return to their dorms limping, beaten, and bloody. 81 are said to have died here. Those are the ones that are counted, though, not the ones that they never saw again.
Those are just the counted
Yeah,
ones?
those are just the counted ones that died.
So then what differentiates...
School will say, oh, that kid ran away, or that. But some of the boys are like, no, the last time we saw them, they were at the White House. Alan Sexton was one of the White House boys. He stated, and this is in quotes, "There was blood on the walls, blood on the mattress I was on, blood on the pillow. It smelled to high heaven. They turned on a great big industrial fan to keep people from passing by to hear the screams." There were claims that there was one room for whipping white boys and another for black boys.
For what fucking reason? I mean, no, don't whip people. Segregating your fucking torture house?
Yep. It is said that the whippings that took place were done with a leather and metal belt that was 3 feet long. They were lashed so hard sometimes that their underwear would become embedded into their skin.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Some of the boys claimed that they were whipped until they passed out, and if they cried, the punishment would be that much worse. And then staff instructed the boys to line up in the center of a long hallway before their beatings. Some boys said that going first was always best because the other boys could hear the sound of the beatings, which caused anxiety, increasing the brutality of the punishment. So they're like, let's get it done and over with. I won't have to hear it, you know.
I would almost feel like going last would be better because
Right.
someone's fucking arm has to be tired.
And that's
by
what
then.
it says. It says then some of the boys said going last was best because the staff would be so exhausted by the end of it. It's also said that survivors of this room heard staff making bets about who could make a boy bleed with the first stroke.
Where the fuck did they find these people
I know.
that worked there?
The
Where
staff-
are they?
Isn't that crazy?
Are they in jail?
Well, we'll find out.
I gotta go down to
But
Florida.
the answer is no.
I gotta go down to Florida for a trip. I just really need to go to Universal Studios. Wink. I'm definitely not gonna go kill some people.
Once in the punishment room, the staff member would tell the boy to untuck his shirt, unbutton his pants, and lie face down on the cot. Then reach over his head and hold on to the railing at the top of the cot. If the boy let go of the railing, or if he looked at the staff person, then he would receive that many more lashings.
These rules seem really fucking arbitrary.
Yeah.
Hey, if you breathe, your beating is worse.
Some of the boys...
Hey, if you blink more than 17 times in 5
Right.
minutes, your beating is worse.
I know, it's
Hey, if
just
you
like
have
excuses.
brown eyes, your beating is worse.
Yeah, So,
Hey, if you haven't shaved today, your beating's worse.
yeah,
Hey, if you're left-handed, your beating's worse.
I was like, is there any more? One more.
Hey, if you haven't cut your fingernails in a week, your beating's worse.
There you go.
Fucking arbitrary-ass rules.
Yep. Some of the boys received lashings even if their scabs from previous beatings were not healed yet. Okay, and here comes a trigger warning.
Oh, this whole episode's a trigger warning.
Yeah, but this is...
Oh, God. Okay, I'm not mentally prepared. Okay, let me, lean back on my pillow.
There was also an alleged room called the rape room.
Are you kidding me?
Where the boys were sexually abused.
So now we have pedophiles. So they're also pedophiles and rapists.
Some of the boys remember it being the crawl space under the dining hall.
Okay.
And others remember a cellar room beneath the school.
So it wasn't attached to the white room. It was just a completely separate room.
So I think, this is just from the research that I've read and stuff, I think that there may have been multiple rooms.
Okay.
I mean, all of them were a similar vibe, though. Like, dark, dank, and nasty. But they all agreed it was a dark room with a mattress on the floor where they would be raped. Another boy said he saw one of the boys trapped in a running clothes dryer. Yeah, like one of those big industrial dryers.
Oh, my God.
And then Dr. Eugene Bird, he was one of the psychologists at Dozier. He kept getting complaints about the punishment from the boys who saw him, so he asked to observe. So in 1958, he testified before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Subcommittee that, and in quotes, the blows are very severe. They are dealt with a great deal of force with a full arm swing over the head and down with a strap, a leather strap approximately a half-inch thick and about 10 inches long with a wooden formed handle. In my personal opinion, it is brutality. Good for Dr. Bird. He's finally standing up.
Good job for doing the bare minimum, bro. You did not warn me what I was getting into with this episode.
I'm telling you, it's pretty bad.
You did not tell me about this beforehand. Yeah. I feel like I need mental preparation for this that I did not receive.
Sorry. So a lot of the men that went to the school during the 1950s and 60s, they started coming out and telling their stories. All of their stories had similarities. So that's what kind of gave them the validity.
Right.
Like, this happened. They all have the similar stories without hearing each other's.
Something like off the wall.
They all started coming forward for different reasons. Some wanted to face their abusers and seek justice. Some just wanted the acknowledgement of what happened to help them heal from their trauma.
Right, literally.
And then they wanted to make sure that history didn't repeat itself and didn't want other children to go through what they went through.
It was still open at that point, right? Right?
It didn't close down until like 2011.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Just a little taste of what we're going to get. And then when the men started coming forward, it gave the others the courage to do so as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end it there.
My God, I feel like I need to be blessed.
So that is just the history, the background, the education, kind of a little bit of us dipping our toes in the water.
I don't want to dip them any further.
But we're going to get
take the rest of your notes and I'm going to light them on fire. Alex, get me a lighter. I promise I won't light anything on fire.
He's got it.
Oh, he has a lighter. Oh, it fell to the ground. Fuck.
So that was the first part. We're dipping our toes in the water. Stop. She's lighting my notes on fire.
I really was actually I had the lighter half a centimeter away from those. If I'd gotten any closer, I actually would have set them on fire on accident.
In the next episode, we will be going
in the next
more
episode.
in-depth.
You'll find that I'm not here anymore because I'm gonna run away.
Yeah. So we will be going over some firsthand accounts from multiple men who came forward about their times as boys in the Dozier School. And then our third part will be about the kind of endings and what they found and all of that
shutting
stuff.
down, hopefully. Okay. Well, we survived.
We survived.
Start of that episode.
Yeah.
I feel like I need therapy even more than I already need therapy now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was part 1.
Great.
And then we'll be taking a little bit deeper of a dive in part 2. So mentally prepare yourselves.
I don't have time to mentally prepare myself because
I want to
do it right now.
Take the time and thank Cameron for introducing me to this, because one night he likes to watch YouTube videos in bed, and he loves documentaries. And there was a video about this school, and I was like, what is that you're listening to? Because my ears perked up, like, this would be a good case to cover, because I've never heard of it, and I'm sure other people haven't, and it kind of just want to bring the victims, stories to life for people.
I feel like these are the sort of things that, like, I feel like people should know about this stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you don't, it's kind of like, how was that happening for so long?
Right.
And no one even knew it or cared or, like, 111 years? That's so fucking long.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was the end of part 1. Stay tuned. Follow us on all of our social medias.
Thank you. You're doing the marketing because I'm still decompressing.
Yeah.
You're not as good at it, though.
I'm not.
Okay, fine. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow us on all of our social medias. It's Mysteriosities on all platforms. We're very active on Instagram, probably the most. Twitter. I'm semi-active. We got a Facebook page. We have a TikTok. No, I still haven't posted on it. Don't at me. Even though I told you to at me, don't do it, because I have to look cute for TikToks, and I just haven't felt like it. I have a YouTube page if you like listening on YouTube, but you can also watch any lives we do. We only have one, but we'll probably do more.
Yeah.
Especially since it's summer and nice out and we love a bonfire moment. So you can watch our last live episode on YouTube. It's a shit show. You can see it all uncut. It's very fun. That's it. So I'm gonna go. I quit now, the podcast. This is me putting in my 2 weeks, but like predate that 2 weeks so that today's my last day.
It's more like 2 minutes because we about to get into another one.
I put in my 2 minutes, so now I gotta go. I gotta go home. It's been nice knowing y'all, but I quit. Anyways, thanks for listening, and we are
Mysteriosities.
No, seriously, I quit.